Welcome to the Galactic Lounge Podcast Season 4. Today's speakers will be your hosts, Paradox, Garrison, and Mushy Gazelle. We have no guest speaker today. The topic of this episode is enjoy the show.
Welcome back, guys, to the Galactic Launch Podcast, and we got our 4th episode today. First off, we got some sad news. 3rd episode, dead. Just died. R.I.P.
Yo, coming as tradition.
Tradition. Now, I don't want that tradition ever to happen again, though. Terrible tradition. Starting off, are you familiar with like the Old West and cowboy culture? Like ghost towns, gold rush, like the typical Western town, like old
Sort
town
of.
thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Like, is it kind of cool, kind of interesting?
Yeah.
It's personally, I think Western or like the whole theme is really like cool. Like it's its own style, like its own way of life.
Yeah,
Very
it's
different.
a
Not
distinct,
like
it's a
the
very
current
distinct
like
style.
view of it, but like the older view of it, like black and white films, like John Wayne type stuff, where you got the gunslingers out west, and yeah,
it's a very distinct, almost.
it's its
like
own
one of the
unique
first
thing.
American views.
It's beautiful.
Distinct American views, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Going off of that, what do you think about like the cowboy stereotype in the United States from like other nations?
I don't really love it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't portray America
I mean,
as a whole.
it doesn't portray America, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah,
It is kind of funny, like where
it
you
is
see
really
it, though.
funny when you do see it sometimes.
Yeah, it is funny when you see it, but like when you realize like where you actually see it compared to like what they say, like those from like someone from like Asia, like sees like this Western type of culture. They usually put it in like the more Texas area. They put it from there all the way to the west, and then you realize that cowboy culture is really in like the Tennessee and like Texan area, really only.
yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, or out in the plains still. Like,
Yeah.
I know that the Dakotas still hold on to it. Nebraska,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Kind of just like the grasslands, the plains, that still really hold on to that culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why other like countries look at America like that. It's kind of weird. It's like that happened over.
It's almost been
I mean, not
200
over,
years.
but it's almost been 200 years. It's been 180 ish.
I would say 150, really.
Yeah, 150.
It's like it's
This is a
from like
better
a span of
ballpark.
like after Civil War till
Yeah,
like 1900.
yeah, because the Civil War was kind of spurred due to westward expansion.
Yeah.
And states' rights and all that messy stuff.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, but like the whole like Western stuff, it's kind of cool.
What else?
Really
Kind
cool.
of racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Just a little bit.
Not terribly.
Then you got like, well, I mean, then you also have like the whole Indian side of it, which I mean, it's kind of hard to look at it now and like only go off of like what you see in like movies and stuff and like TV shows, because you don't actually understand what the West was actually like about, like what it was like. Like in there, it's like, oh my god, the Indians are the bad guys. Look, the white guy's just over there. He's just blasting, and they're dying. But when you actually like read about it or learn about it, it's kind of messed up. Like you know Custer's Last Stand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
210 versus 2000. Those that I mean, yeah, sure, it was Custer's fault, but at the time, anybody who was moving west, who had to go through those territories, was getting raped, stolen from, pillaged,
Scalped.
whatever,
Scalped is a good one.
scalped, literally murdered. And Custer's Last Stand is a good example of it. You could call it genocide, but what it was is the US's solution to protecting people that it was trying to get west. Yes, we were taking their land, but there's a famous Roman saying, we came, we saw, we conquered. I'm sorry, but it's
Just
not
happened.
it's not exactly your land, it's our land after that point. But we were the whole thing with the military though and moving in was to protect the way out west, like because the whole goal was to basically get to the Pacific Ocean, to get
Yeah.
to the Rockies. It wasn't to stay in the plains. That just was a side effect. And I don't know, the whole situation there is messed up, but the culture that came from it was pretty interesting, pretty cool stuff like in TV and stuff, but
I think
real life it was a fucking massacre.
one thing that's
Nobody won.
kind of under the light a little bit from it that people like. I think it'd be cool to look into a little more is like it makes you realize like with all like the ghost town stuff. It
Oh
makes you
yeah.
realize like when going on like places we know, like counties we know, looking through all those like cities in there that used to be there is actually kind of cool. Like there's
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so out in western Minnesota, I remember going to this place, and I can't remember the name of it, but all that's there is it's a little cemetery and a giant stone, and engraved on the stone is like this, like it basically tells you here was once this town, home to 300. It was wiped out by, I think it was Crazy Horse, and the Minnesota guard that was stationed up at Fort Snelling had to come down and basically fight them back, and everybody in the town was dead. It's wild.
yeah. Who is the dude that was like a cowboy in the U.S. but he went all the way down to like the Tierra del Fuego region or Patagonia, I believe. I forget who that was.
I've got no
Um,
idea.
I don't know any.
There's
I
a
don't
film
know
on
a
it.
whole lot of cowboys like
I
by
think
name.
it was someone.
Yeah, I definitely remember that being somebody. I don't remember who it was though.
I remember learning about that from freaking Grand Tour. And Top Gear, it was the Grand Tour episode. But that's like really interesting how you're basically completely flip flopping. Like it's part of the world, but it's like exactly the same though.
Yeah, and I think that one of the biggest things that fueled the whole cowboy culture was like the intermingling between the people who were moving west and the Spanish and the Mexicans, because they had like, yeah, horseback fighting in the desert, stuff like
Yeah,
the fucking
very
Alamo,
very dusty.
which
It's like
in turn fueled more of their stuff.
the is it like the old Texan in The Simpsons? Like he says, I think he says like I want to do what we secretly did at the Alamo, surrender.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess also we could probably talk a little bit about how how in Minnesota we got to the point in the American Civil War we had we had to pull our troops back to western Minnesota and fight the Indians during the
Oh yeah.
Indian American War.
Yep.
Right.
That is kind of hilarious where we got to that point.
Yeah, my great grandfather, he was an artilleryman, and he was his company didn't have to come back. They were like kept down south, but the other guys who he knew had to go back to Minnesota to fight
That's
in
real. That's
the
really
West.
interesting.
Yeah, he worked on cannons and he blew a lot of shit up.
A gaming
I re-
moment.
I remember more off topic, but I remember going to the Battle of Gettysburg and learning about how was it General Sickles from like New York, which is like he was like a senator or something. He basically screwed the whole Yankee front, and the Minnesota soldiers had to like pull like
Oh yeah,
had to do that shit. It was basically like granted them like a pretty great recognition, if I remember.
yeah.
Uh, I say moving on. Probably have already answered this question, but what do you think about like westerns, like John Wayne, Gunslinger? There's a couple others.
Oh no, I always enjoyed them because I'd
Oh, the Rifleman.
watch them. Yes, the Riflemen. I used to watch them with my grandparents when I was little.
Yeah, I loved watching like MeTV, watching that stuff.
Yes.
It does get a little old sometimes.
Yes, I remember watching Me TV every night with my dad. Like
Your
first,
son,
second
are you
grade, third
familiar with
grade, fourth grade.
MeTV?
No, I'm not.
So it's basically like a channel, basically like reruns of old
Old
shows
movies
from like
and
old
shows.
movies, old shows from like the 70s back to like the 50s, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, right about there. Yeah,
A lot of old shows, a lot of westerns.
little off topic, but did you ever see Hogan's Heroes?
A little bit on that. I
That
think a
was a good
majority
show.
of I watched on everything else but like westerns I watched on MeTV was what was it? It was a one firefighter show, but they had this special in Seattle, and they had like that was really weird.
Huh?
Yeah,
Did you
Mr.
ever
Murder.
watch the Twilight Zone on there?
I actually no.
Yeah, that actually plays every night at midnight is when it starts. And I remember I used to stay up on the weekends with my dad and on Friday nights, and we'd stay up till like midnight and just sit there and watch Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone actually has a lot of episodes on like stuff from like the westward expansion.
Yeah.
And also like
I'd watch.
southern
I'd
stuff.
probably
It's kind of
watch.
interesting.
Yeah. I guess moving on from that, are you just familiar with John Wayne?
Yes.
The whole character of John Wayne, just being a cowboy and being kind of a badass.
Yeah,
at
the
same
actor
time.
was
Actually,
like that
not
in real
really.
life too.
Yeah. He was like he reminds me of what was it, Paul? It's like someone Newman. The
All
one who
Newman.
played Doc in Cars.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know him.
When he used to have a kart team, which is basically an IndyCar team. And he died. LOL.
Yeah.
I think another good question from like the whole movie genre of like the Old West is you have to talk about it, but spaghetti westerns. The Italians' perception on the Old West. What do you think about it?
I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I watched a video like just a little while ago, but like the people who made those films were just crazy. It was supposedly like really political and stuff,
Yeah.
and like they watched it and they made those things really bloody, and they actually like they told more or less the realistic story, even though it was kind of cheesy for being Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that those ones are also unique, like compared to stuff like John Wayne and whatnot, because like they actually like tell the story of like cowboys and Indians as opposed to something like John Wayne where it's like, no, you listen here, we're gonna have a duel at high noon. And like, like actual like gunfights
Yeah,
and
not
stuff.
not that.
More like I wouldn't say fake, but fake.
Do you remember like the boy? Was it? It wasn't like one of the John. It was like the Rifleman. I remember like realizing like some of the same actors were in the same Western shows.
Yeah, it's almost like they went set to set. It's
Yeah, that was really cool.
probably because they did.
Uh, do you like out of like both of those type of film? Let's see, what is it called? Like filmology? Would you rather watch a spaghetti western or a normal western, normal American western?
Probably normal.
Yeah, I think a normal one.
I think I'd go with the spaghetti western, but I just gotta have like English translation.
Yeah.
I guess completely switching gears here. We're gonna kind of cover a little more of the West, I'd say. But Las Vegas, gambling good? What do you think about
Sometimes I think it's good. I think it's a good way for people to make, or for the people who have them to make money, who
Yeah.
own the place. But also, gambling's a little bit fun, but you shouldn't do too much.
It's
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Set
addicting.
yourself a fucking limit.
Yeah,
Don't
I-
need to go gambling off your entire fucking house. Jesus.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Like
put
$50 is
$30
fine.
in my
You'll probably
house.
walk away with 100.
Gamble away.
Get too drunk and then gamble your whole entire life savings.
Oh yes, I gambled away everything, including my left fucking nut. Jesus.
Dang.
Or he just would gamble his life away on like the most easy,
Literally,
easy to
it
win
become
gambling.
yeah, exactly.
And still
Slots.
lose.
Gamble his left nut just so he can make another right nut.
You know what they say? Two righties does not equal a lefty. It just equals a backy.
And
Left,
just equals
right, front,
emulation.
back.
you need three righties to make a lefty.
Wise.
Yeah. Blackjack, roulette, slots. Which one is the best?
Blackjack's the
roulette.
most fun.
Blackjack or roulette? Blackjack's fun.
Slots is impossible to win
Yeah, slots is
unless you're like
entirely
unbelievably
rigged.
lucky.
Yeah, if you're godly lucky.
Like I bet like $20,000 starry, and then horror just comes right in. That's
I bet, like,
2,000 win.
10K. Yeah, I
Yeah.
win right away.
Yep.
And I win like the highest amount too.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
Come on, brother.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
I have a good enough luck that my dad's like, "God damn, we should have brought you to Vegas." Because like we'll be playing like card games or whatever, and I'll just be
You know one thing
absolutely
that's
taking the shit out of him, and I'll just win over and over and over again.
yeah. You know that it's actually not illegal. I'm pretty sure it's not illegal, but card counting. It would be funny to learn
It's
that and
not.
go to,
It's
like,
just against the theoretical rules because they don't like it
Yeah.
because they lose money.
yeah, they just don't want you to do that, but you can do that. But also,
Yeah, you can do it. If you do it, you have to do it nonchalantly, and just
Yeah.
make it a subdermal process in your brain that you're automatically doing it, so you don't even like have any sort of tell that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're like counting everybody's like, yeah, no. Like, yes, I know this has been played. Yeah, calm down, bud.
Yeah, it's weird.
Not that
how,
deep.
like that became a system. An actual system, not your like your aunt's like crazy ass gambling system And
Yeah,
like
no
last
shit.
year, like 3 cars, a house, and a dog.
What is that dog doing?
What the hell that dog doing? Why that dog trying to jump over that other dog?
Oh,
If you get the joke, you can laugh.
ah,
Oh my god!
So great, so funny.
Like, what is your favorite, like, I'd say card game? Like, basic card game, like War, Garbage.
Oh, I'm a personal fan of cribbage.
I like Garbage.
If it were an Olympic sport, I would be a gold medalist.
I like Rummy.
War
what
is
that
also
is.
fun. I like War.
War, it can be fun, but I like.
I like
Isn't it
Garbage
I like-
also.
Yeah, I like Garbage, but you have to play the full 13 cards, not just the 10. When you play Garbage,
Yeah.
what is your wild?
King.
Mine is usually the king.
Gary.
I said King.
Oh.
Like,
Oh no, for
Yeah.
War, I always go high rather than low because I always feel like an ace is just an ace. It's a
yeah.
Chad. It deserves
Have
to
you guys,
win every
have you guys,
time.
ever, like when playing like War, have you ever betted more than like the normal like 3 when you have like an actual like tie/war? Where like you're supposed to like bet like 3 cards when you have like a war, like you have like 2 aces, one dude is one ace, one dude is another ace.
No.
Yeah.
God. I remember winning
I don't
somebody.
I don't really bet when I play War. I just play it for fun.
I know I usually play for fun, but like I always want to play. I always subconsciously know. Well, actually, not subconsciously, but I know who has the eight, like where the ace is or aces are,
Yeah.
because it goes
I know.
like if you have all the aces, you're basically gonna win.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember I used to like sit there and just play with my grandma, and it would take us fucking hours to finish a game of War because we'd just be going back and forth for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then by the
just
time that one of us won, it was just by a slim victory.
Going off the more casino question, outside of Vegas, do you think all casinos should be owned by Indians or be on Indian land?
I mean, if it gets them to stop yapping.
Yo, I mean, it does
Damn.
make them a lot of fucking money.
It does
Not
make them a
gonna
lot of
lie.
money.
Yeah. I mean, if I were an Indian and I was getting paid by just dumb people, just wasting their
that
money.
Just
I
wasting
mean,
their money.
I'd stop yapping.
Yeah. That's a very good and blatant way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm
Usually
gonna
on
say
like
it.
a free
I'm gonna
market.
say it right now. Had Indians, like certain Indian people, like made the correct financial decision, like because they were like, oh well, we want our land back instead of just taking the money they could have gotten from like the U.S. Congress, which by the way, like I think it was the Ojibwe to the north, they got like offered $120 million in
It's kind of weak, to be
18
honest.
something, and
Like 18.
Oh.
18
I
was
looked
nice.
it up and converted to nowadays money, it's like $1.6 billion, and they
That's a
refused it
chunk.
because they wanted their land back. And I'm
It's
like, are
honestly
you
not a
fucking kidding
lot.
me? That's $1.6 billion though. That's probably, well, I mean, it was
I
probably
know, but
worth
like
more than most of their land was
I
actually
probably
worth.
would have
But
like I'd probably better offer with that would be like 10,
with
10
with
billion.
inflation alone, like, because honestly, that's just the flat money. If they'd done nothing with it, it might have been
Yeah.
worth more. I can't remember. I think that was like, that's my lowballing the shit out of it number. I think it was closer to 8 billion to 1.6.
Yeah, that's a bit more realistic, I'd say.
Yeah,
8 billion.
with inflation. But I'm like, are you kidding me? If you'd taken that money then,
You could have built
and
so
not
many
to mention the
casinos.
fact, Yeah, exactly. And you would have been making more money. You would have been making so much more money. What the
Build
fuck were
casino.
you thinking? Build casino because white man can't have casino.
And white man dumb.
And white man dumb. He willing to waste his fucking money in your casino, dude. Think about all
Alright,
the other.
yeah.
Think about all the land that you would amass from building this casino and then taking from the white man who gambles it away. Just saying.
Yeah. I guess going off the more reservation question, are reservations a good idea in general?
I don't even
Like,
know, man.
I think
I
it's
mean,
somewhat like they are
I would have.
useless. Like they are useless.
I would have
if-
rather seen them
yeah.
like get their land back. Well, I mean, they can't obviously have
I mean,
all of
yeah.
it back, but like they should have something more than just reservation.
Like for example, taking Minnesota, like all but like there's two types of reservations. There's the one where everyone can be on, and there's another
Yeah.
one where it's completely restricted. There's only one restricted reservation in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I forget which one it is, but it's obviously up north. But taking those like reservations, it's the ones that everyone can be on. It's basically useless. Like,
Yeah.
why have it?
Yep.
It's more or less like special cultural zones, which is kind of stupid. But at least they could have casinos there.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. Back in the day, remember how they had like the boarding houses and stuff, where they would
Oh,
like
yeah.
send Indians try and integrate them into society?
No.
Okay, so they had these like systems to beat the crap out of Indians and try and like force them to join our society.
Okay.
Basically, pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Canadians
I
had a
think
problem with that
It was
recently.
it was a good idea, but it was wrong. Not the beating the crap out of them part, but the part
But
of
helping them get in.
let's
like,
get them integrated into our society
but
and be
it
like, hey,
probably
yo,
is a little fucked up from that
here's
a
what you
little
can
bit,
do.
but I think, yeah.
Instead of literally, killing them by the hundreds in these fucked up boarding houses.
Like that stuff is kind of inevitable. Like with
I'd
American
give them
culture.
the chance.
Yeah, you
Like,
kind of like
You could like
yeah.
make steps to integrate into our culture, or you could just be an Indian. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah, but like
I think
taking
the problem with it was that churches were running it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a
Had some of
problem.
those crazy
Church-
fucking Puritans who were like, "I will beat the heathen out of you. Let God
and
heal
taking
your
like a
soul."
more
Like,
yeah,
Jesus
taking more
Christ.
Using God as a means to beat people. That ain't cool.
Yeah.
yeah, taking a more like a more I think it's happening in the world that's more connected to this is the weaker people in Western China.
Yeah.
Like like what the Chinese do is basically killing their culture. Well, like basically exactly what we did with the Indians. Like realistically, that's exactly the same. But
Huh.
Good
it
idea.
is
Bad
completely inevitable.
implications.
Yeah, it's
Bad-
completely inevitable.
Bad implementations.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's a good idea to try and get people, like, come over here, join the party, eat some cake, have a seat. Not, hey, come over here, sit down. And then they tie you down to the chair and start beating the shit out of you with a stick.
yeah.
And then starve you for 3 months and eat the cake in front of you. And then leave you worse off than you were before, and then dump you into their society. Except for, I mean, in the Weaver case, they aren't exactly getting released back into society.
It's impossible there.
Well,
We are
it's kinda
not
messed
banned
up
in
with them.
China, so But-
Yet.
it is about that time for weekly music. Who wants to go first?
I need to find mine.
I guess I'm going first then.
All right, you do that.
Obviously, I am playing a western. It's actually a spaghetti western. You know, Morrissey. Song Mio Name e Neso, or My Name is Nobody. There's a main theme to My Name is Nobody. I don't know if that's a movie or not. It's a film. It's a film. I know my Italian. Only like 2 words, like spaghetti and meatball. Pretty deep in my playlist. Chill one. It's probably good enough for mine right there. Mushy? Or are you guys still finding yours?
I'm typing it in right now. There we go. Sorry about took me a second.
Black Sabbath. War
Yes, sir.
Pigs. Is there any pigs in this song?
Don't think so.
Damn, no hogs in the song.
Well, actually, yes, there are. There are hogs. in the
Yo,
song.
hog rider.
It's a log rider moment.
Yeah, log rider ain't no hog rider anymore. The Bay of Pigs.
Did it have pigs in it?
Oh yeah. For the hogs. The Bay of Pigs is technically it was actually an invasion with hog riders on Cuba. Oh yeah. You didn't play that right, Gary.
Huh?
You did Platt.
Dude, I don't really care. T is right next to Y on the keyboard. Yeah, change their shot.
Alright, we got. Is this Reflections by Telepath?
Yep.
I'm not gonna read that. What's it called? Kanji. Kinjong.
Is it Korean? That's Korean, right?
No, that's Japanese for sure.
Nah.
Is it Japanese?
Yeah.
I can never remember which one's which. No, that's
The Korean is more like boxy.
Like, it's got a bunch of circles.
Yeah, it's more circular. More boxy, circular type. Okay, Kanji's like a little more, like a little more stroke-like.
Oh no, my one friend, she was like, I was like, please identify this language for me, because I don't know, man. They all look the same, and I mix them up with all 3 of them: Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. I'm sorry, I just don't know, man.
The language of my ass.
Whoa.
I guess that does kind of look like Japanese, because it's got like the smiley face thing.
Yeah. I've seen like all those kids in like
I
Fortnite
think
with like all
that's
the
like the dead giveaway is that.
yeah. I think
the way
I've
that
seen like all the
it
kids
looks.
in Fortnite with like all like they'd have their name that had like some Japanese character or something.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm so cool, but you know,
I don't know. The
you know
easiest
you're
way for me to
white.
figure it out is to go into Google
You're
Maps
white.
and like go over to like the different countries and then zoom in on their cities and be like, that looks about right based on the spelling. Because like the spelling is like in like their language, not in, like translated.
Yeah.
So then you can be like, yes, that is. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that.
Probably good enough for that one. You got predictions again tonight,
Prediction.
but this will hope. This is the hopeful. Will there be another podcast lost this season? There should
Oh
be
my
only one
God.
answer for this.
Please, God, no.
No, I'm predicting no.
No, there isn't gonna be.
We all saying no.
Yep.
Yes.
Please
I'm
not
I'm
strike
just
me
We're-
I'm
down,
just
man.
betting the other way.
100%
What
gonna
do
get
we
this
get if we
covered.
win?
We're gonna get this covered. We're gonna do a
Yeah.
testing before each podcast's time. Now
we
on.
ain't. We
So
ain't.
what do we get if we
That-
like what do we get if we win?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just doing these weekly predictions. We do get nothing. Whoever wins all of it.
Yeah. Legendary.
I guess we can end it out. You guys got any last statements? Reach
Art.
has been here early. We wanted to ask a question. This would be the
Yeah,
time
it's-
for Reach to ask that question, but he ain't here.
Yeah.
But he ain't
Reed is
here
probably
anymore.
sleeping.
Probably shouldn't have been spamming like that.
Sleeping.
I didn't
That's a
realize
Reach
he
moment.
rejoined.
Yo, I got this statement. It's called fart.
Oh
Nice.
my god, man.
Minor flatulence.
Minor flatulence. You got that farting. Also, I was gonna say this, but like literally the next era is gonna be like this like cowboy desert type theme.
Cool.
Nice.
Yep, it is gonna be that.
Post
I
log.
guess- Post a log. I guess we can end it off there. Goodbye and good night.